Hey everybody, Karyn Bryant for MMA Heat talking with Curtis Blaydes, who is in the main event at UFC Raleigh taking on Junior Dos Santos. Hey, listen, Curtis, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me. We are about a week out from your fight. Huge opportunity. What does Junior mean to you as an opponent?
To me, Junior means another legend,
Yeah.
another high-profile name, and possibly after a win, maybe a title shot.
Yeah, I mean, how much? There's a lot to get to here and how and to unpack. But he is a very big name. You've beaten big names like Alistair Overeem already before you beat Mark Hunt. But when you do look at all the things that Cigano has accomplished, yeah, where does he rank and sort of up there with the guys that you feel are the toughest that you faced?
Um, I feel like this will be the the toughest overall opponent
Yeah.
because he's got the striking, he's got the conditioning. He hasn't been forced to grapple much, but I I would believe he's got some pretty decent grappling. So I think he'll be overall the toughest opponent.
Yeah, well, he's very good. Is it the type of thing where they've expressly told you you will get a title shot with a victory?
No, that wasn't the deal, but I'm just hoping based on the heavyweight landscape right now. I know Ngannou, he's got Rosenstruck in like I don't know a couple months after me,
Right.
so it's pretty much down to us two, I think. And I get well whatever DC's gonna do. I don't know what
Right.
DC's doing, but
Right. Well, yeah, I mean, there may be the Stipe rematch. Is that something that you want to see or no, the rubber match?
is something I want to see. Not really,
No?
but do I understand if they do it again? Yes, I understand it's a business,
Right.
and they both have a victory over each other,
Right.
and I get it. So if they decide to run it back again, I don't mind having to wait. But I'm hoping if it's not DC,
Right.
it should be either me or Ngannou again.
Well, that's the
So
thing, yeah, like you said, there, Francis is going to be fighting Rosenstruck. I think that's in March, though. So yeah, you have a
yeah,
little bit of a lead on them. So when you were offered Cigano, though, I mean, right now, obviously, he is coming off a loss to Francis. But like you said, in the heavyweight division, you guys are closer to title shots than in others, and it isn't always winner winner loser loser. But I mean, were you felt like this was just the best option for you to get closer to the title?
oh yeah,
Yeah.
of course. Look at the rankings. He was the only one available.
Right.
He or Volkov, but Volkov just had a fight with Hardy, so
Right.
yeah, it was really only Junior.
Right, right, right. Well, he is obviously a very dangerous opponent, and you mentioned a moment ago about his grappling. A lot of people are going to expect you to take him down. I believe you've got the most takedowns in heavyweight history, if maybe even the UFC, right? But for sure in heavyweight. But I would
Yes, of
expect
course,
you to take him down then, right? I mean, is that what we all should be watching for?
of course. My game plan it doesn't change for anyone. That's
Right.
the beauty of it. It's a universal game plan. Use my boxing and just get in there. Use my wrestling, get on top, and do what I do best.
Is that, it's funny because the only wrestling I've ever done is when DC took a bunch of us media members through a workout, and after 20 minutes of wrestling, I thought I was going to die. That is, that is
Vince,
a whole other kind of thing. Yeah. I mean, it's funny too because so many people consider wrestling to be the foundation of a great MMA fighter, and then they complain, if you see wrestling in a fight. So what's
yeah.
your take on that?
Well, to those people who don't approve of wrestling being used in a mixed martial arts fight, I really don't know what to tell you. Maybe you should find a new sport to watch because as long as as long as wrestling is allowed, you're gonna have guys like me, Habib, uh, Usman. We're gonna use our wrestling because why not? We're better at it. So it's have the quickest path to victory.
Yep. Well, you froze up just for a second here.
Oh no. I
Okay,
think you
wait.
froze.
Oh, there you are. Okay, yeah. Well, I mean, obviously, it's a very effective tool, like you just mentioned. Khabib, we're talking about Kamaru. These are two champions that have a lot of wrestling there. What do you think it is, though, about what you personally have and what they have versus other kind of wrestlers, right? Because sometimes people can wrestle great in college and then they can't really make it effective in MMA. So, how do you think you've been able to effectively use it in MMA where others haven't?
Because like you just said, there's a bunch of different versions of like a good wrestler.
Yeah.
You got guys who can get on top, they know how to ride. You have guys who use their upper body, the Greco stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You have guys like me who like to go after the legs. I think that's the most effective way to use your wrestling in MMA is just uh, the takedown aspect. Everything else is kind of gray. You
Right.
really don't want to do like real pure wrestling in an MMA fight. That might get you hurt.
Mm-hmm.
But the takedown aspect, I've always been good at that, and it made an easy transition for me.
Nice. Very nice. Well, yeah, I mean, you make it look very easy, and I know it's something that really, really isn't very easy. So who have you had training partner wise? Obviously, Junior is a very physically imposing guy. So who have you been working with?
Just the regular crew of guys we've always had. A lot of regional pro heavyweights. Martin Paredes, Zach Paunga. Um, I would have had Alistair, but
Right.
Alistair had the facial injury after
Right.
his fight. He has back. He was around like earlier, but then after his fight, he went back to Holland, I think.
Right.
So it's just been the local regional heavyweights.
Nice. Well, I actually wanted to ask you about Alistair because before his fight with Jairzinho, he came on, with us at ESPN and he was talking about training with you. And we thought that was so cool that you had beaten him and then you guys became training partners. So were you surprised when that kind of materialized and when he reached out?
It's weird because we had previously spoken about it.
Yeah.
When I was in Australia, he was there when I fought Mark Hunt,
Mm-hmm.
and I remember we were down in the breakfast hall like the day sometime during that week, and he was there, and he walked up on me and my coach, and he was like, "Hey, I'm thinking about coming out to
Yeah.
Colorado." He wanted to work with
Yeah.
Dwayne Bang Ludwig,
Right.
and I was already kind of working there, so he had already glossed over like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, we should get some work in. And then we got the matchups. So then me and him had to fight. And then after I did win, yeah, I wasn't gonna reach out, but when he reached out and he had zero
Yeah.
animosity, like it was like, you already won, great fight, we're professionals. I'm I'm a bit older than you. We do different skill sets. We can help each
Yeah.
other. We probably won't have to run in run into each other again.
Mm-hmm.
It made perfect sense because I didn't have anyone of his skill level,
Right.
of his caliber here,
Mm-hmm.
and um, I think he just was really impressed by the game plan my coaches and myself we were able to implement, and it made an imprint on him.
You could definitely see that in the fight with Jairzinho. You could definitely
Yeah,
see some improvements in his wrestling. You could see some new things. And so it was something that we commented on that very clearly he was learning a lot training with you guys. And it just felt like in the next fight, it's even going to be even more impressive. You know what I mean? You could see that there were some changes that he was making and he was definitely on the right track. And he's going to just be able to put them together a lot more fluidly in the future. Yeah.
yeah, I would agree. I was very impressed with not so much with the technique of the takedowns, just the effort,
Yeah.
just him being open to attacking the
Right.
legs. I was very impressed.
Very nice, very nice. Well, it's a main event for you. I believe it's your first main event in the UFC, yeah? Or no, Mark Hunt
No, no
was,
second.
right?
No, that was a co-main. Last year, Beijing and Ngannou.
Oh, that's
I was
right, with Francis. That with Francis. Does it feel any different to you to be in a main event? Like, do you get a little extra hyped for that?
of course, yeah. Everything's going to be around you now. You're on all the posters.
Right.
Everyone wants to talk to you. The media is going to be a little more hectic, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just another fight. If we were going to be in a prelims or main card, co-main, main, doesn't matter. The only thing that changes is the number of rounds. That is a small difference.
Nice. Well, training at altitude will certainly help you.
I think so. I hope that's usually to me, that's the X factor. That's the whole reason I moved out here, was to be in the elevation.
Right. Right. It makes a lot of sense. And, you mentioned Francis, that's a fight, you've fought him twice. Is that a fight you would ever want to do again? Is that somebody that, like, does it bother you that he's got you? And, like, sometimes there's one fighter that might just have your number. Does it bother you about him?
No, doesn't like eat at me, doesn't keep me up at night. I don't think like, oh man, I suck now. Well, dude's good.
Yeah, he's good.
He hits hard. It happens, in this game, very, very few of us are going to leave undefeated. It doesn't happen very often. So I made my peace with that. Between the flight back from Beijing and getting back here to America, I was already over it.
Cool. Nice. It's a long flight. You have a lot of time.
Yeah.
For sure. Well, listen, Curtis, I'm excited. I will be in Raleigh, and I believe it's like the first time we're going to Raleigh, so they definitely have a big-ass main event there. Really excited for it, and I'm hoping you will play No Wrong Answers with me as well. But first and foremost, I do want to say thank you and best of luck in the fight with Cigano.
Thank you. I appreciate your time.